This is our home gaming conference, and this is my chance to meet friends, new talent, and I'm so happy to see. My barometer is that if I'm coming to this conference and if 20, 30, 40% places are new, I know the industry is growing. And I think that's what is really happening. So in the indie showcase when I saw a couple of new faces and I said, wow, this is nice. The mobile gaming is really growing and it is growing at a fairly rapid clip. So what I've told you 1.5 years, 2 years back, I'm feeling very vindicated and very satisfied that the ecosystem creation enablement is something which I have always been very passionate about. I'm seeing that really happening and I'm very happy with that.
This is my first time here for a conference, for this conference, and honestly, when I was coming here, I didn't think it would be something special, something big, because I've been to a number of conferences around the world, in the United States, in China, in Europe, in Russia, and I just didn't realize how vibrant, how big the Indian gaming market is. And now that I'm here and that I see how busy it is, how vibrant it is, well, I must admit I was wrong, and I should come here more often. In Zeptolab, we're always looking for ways to expand our brand exposure, to establish our solid footprint in globally and around the world. And part of that strategy is to build our presence in local markets. Not all of them. We don't have time or resources to cover every country in the world. We pick the top priority countries, top priority regions, and then we focus our efforts in building our presence in these regions. These markets include, of course, China, Japan, Latin America, Middle East, and of course India. India is one of our top priorities. And to us, to build a presence means to establish several items in the market. First is to bring the localized versions of our games to local audiences. Second is, on top of creating and distributing games, we have lots of other business activities. Among those are licensing and merchandising. Given the success of Cut Their Open unknown brands, it would be stupid not to leverage its popularity in order to reach people, to reach customers in other areas. So we are building a strong licensing and merchandising program around the world, and India is one of the most prospective markets to us in these terms. Bringing the right versions, localized versions, culturalized versions of our games to a local market is the key pillar of all these efforts. And for this, we needed a local partner who is an expert in local market, who is capable of taking our games, taking the source code of our games, and making a localized version of this.
Google Play iOS, nothing is going to change. All we are going to do is, as Denis said, we are going to make it more Indianized, both in terms of the art vision, character vision, and IAP pricing, and the size of the build. That's what we are going to do on iOS Google Play, because the carrier billing is not allowed there, so you can't really put it. However, on our Nazara direct-to-consumer channels, as well as on embedding, we will integrate the carrier billing into in-app purchases. Or we could even try stuff like try and buy. Or we can try and subscribe. These are all models which are accessible to Nazara, and we have been doing it. So for us, that's an alternate monetization channel. The advantage which happens here, we have a familiar brand, so the sampling happens much faster. You have a proven mechanism of retention, so you don't have to worry about that. And you know the conversion of payment. At a global level, there is an evolved market. What is that percentage paid conversion? If you're integrating carrier billing, you are making it easy to play without consuming data charges. You are trying to remove many frictions which can potentially come in the way of simulating evolved market behavior. Now, we believe that that gives us a good POC experiment for us to really figure out. Now, after that, if the carrier billing really kind of takes off through an embedding through this kind of route, I think it opens up multiple vistas of opportunity for us to look at this model far more seriously as the number one monetization model versus continuously to keep on looking at it as an interstitial model because we all know you cannot make a successful business out of interstitials. So we believe that a combination of brand sponsorships and reward videos on iOS Google Play and a carrier billing led monetization models on non-global app stores will help us to create a case study. But it all boils down. For us, for example, they are roughly a little bit below 1 million monthly active users of Cut the Rope in India today. How do we take that number to 10 million to 50 million over the next 3 years? So that's what I'm saying. If the scale is there, all these POCs look good. But if your scale is not there, then you are not really going to excite us, excite Zepto. And the purpose of they have put in a faith on our passion, on our whatever they see in us. We need to kind of repose that faith by showing first immediately how do we really optimize in terms of number of users, and then how do we maximize the revenues. And my idea is that in 6 months I should show them a case study that you were here, we were able to bring it to 3x, 5x. That to me is a responsibility which I need to take. Fundamentally what everybody forgets, the monetization is secondary, the discovery is first, engagement is second, monetization is tertiary. Now Google Play is the discovery platform for people who are on Android, and we know that Android is the dominant largest operating system here. Now if you want to create a destination, whether it's a walled garden destination or a third party destination has its own gestation period and has its own pains. So I do not see a third party app store in fragmentation like China happening in India. The reason is very simple. There was no Google Play. Today when I did a research, among 5,000 users in top 12 cities of this country, among 4,000 rupees to 8,000 rupees smartphone users, 60% of them are aware of Google Play. They are downloading games from there. Now that awareness is just going to increase, it's not going to decrease. Yeah. So my kind of view is the fragmentation which you have seen out there is not going to really be happening here. And which is why Nazara, we have taken a conscious stand that we do not want to create a third party app store destination or whatever it is. We believe that there are distribution channels. You should focus on getting the right content, which is right retention, KPIs, and then figure out unique ways of monetization, which I spoke in my previous answer. And that's how you should create a network of users rather than creating a destination.
We are pretty much confident in the eventual success because Indian market is booming, and if we set up everything properly now, we will be able to participate in this eventual explosion, which I'm sure will happen in the next coming couple of years.
I think for me it's not about more, it's about laying the foundation right. As I said, this is a first global deal in India, and I would rather make it a case study for whether it happens with Nazara, it happens with any other development studio, but this becomes a case study which is cited in many interactions and conferences over the next 12 months, because many such deals will act as catalyst for Indian gaming to really even become far more. What we need to do is we need to move much faster. The users are there, phones are there, content is lacking. Let's fill the content gap as soon as we can. Monetization will follow, I'm very sure about it.